Good evening. Welcome to the iBUG Buzz. This is the iBUG Buzz number 595 for Monday, August 7th, 2023. I'm Maria, and I will be facilitating the conference tonight along with Sandhya. This is an open forum for anyone with questions or issues with their iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Apple Watch, or Apple TV. And for anyone who'd like to become more proficient in using the accessibility features of these iDevices, and we focus in particular on voiceover and the use of voiceover with phone apps, and also the use of various accessories with voiceover running, like keyboards and speakers and headphones and braille displays and other fun things. So welcome to everyone who has joined in tonight, and to those who will be listening back to this via the recorded podcast playback. Before we go any further, I'm going to turn it over to Sandhya to tell you about just some of the events that we do. She's going to tell you what's coming up this week, because we have so much going on in a month that we can't share all of that with you, but she'll tell you what's happening this week, and also how you can stay connected with us so that you're always in the know as to what's going on. So, Sandhya.
All right. Thank you, Maria. Yes. So all times are central and everything is on Zoom unless specified otherwise. So like Maria said, the next 2 hours is the iBUG Buzz. At the midpoint, we'll have the big reveal for our movie on Friday. So stick around for that and try your hand at some movie trivia. It's always fun. Then Tuesday is a mini buzz on Clubhouse from 5 to 6. So come with any questions you may think of in the middle of the night. Okay, Wednesday we're off. Thursday is our Vila Book Club, 6:30. Back here on this Zoom line, and we are reading. We should already have started reading. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert A. Heinlein. DB 25524. It is 13 hours and 5 minutes, so I suggest you get started. Fridays, the movie, like I said, at 8 p.m. Social time at 7:30. Come for some Name That Tune and jokes. And after the movie, we have a discussion. And you, too, can be Roger Ebert and tell us what you thought of the movie. Then we have our trivia. Then this weekend, we have our iBUG Cafe, and it's a special one. We're going to be discussing some new smart glasses. I think it's called Cella. What is it, Maria? Cella? I think I've got to get the name right.
So it's called Celeste.
Celeste. Okay, I knew it was close. Okay, so Celeste glasses, and the CEO will be there. So how cool. Come with your questions. And that'll be from 4 to 6 on Sunday. Then social media. We have ibugtoday.org as our website. That is the best place to get all of your information about what we are doing, when we are doing it, and how we are doing it. We have an X account, formerly known as Twitter. So you can sign up for that, follow us there. You can go to facebook.com/group/iBugtoday. We're also on Instagram. We're on, for non-technical questions, you can send an email to ibugtoday@gmail.com. And you can listen to our various podcasts on our website or YouTube or your favorite podcasting app. All right, with that, Maria, I hand it back to you, lady.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Sandhya, for that awesome summary. So before we get started with questions for the evening, let's go around and introduce ourselves and where we are from. So I am Maria in Albany, New York. And as always, you have to unmute yourself in order to introduce yourself.
Terry from Arlington Heights.
Hey, Terry and Jake, welcome.
This is Herbie
Hello.
in Spokane, Washington this week.
Hello.
Good.
Hey, Julie, welcome.
Thanks. Pat from
All right, welcome, Priscilla. Oh, I was doing so much better with this simultaneous. Who was the other person that I heard?
Pat from
Pat.
Ohio.
Awesome, welcome.
Shay from
Mark in
Nevada.
Montreal.
All right, welcome, Mark, and I think Shay, and I don't know if I heard anyone else.
Gary.
Gary, welcome.
Hey, Maria.
Rosetta.
Rosetta, welcome.
Thank you, Maria.
Vincent in New Jersey.
Hello.
Ned from Texas.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Helene from Woodstock.
Hey, Helene, welcome.
Thomas in Colorado.
Welcome. Hi, Thomas.
Janet in Colorado.
Hey, welcome, Janet.
Ed from Georgetown, Ontario.
All right, welcome, Ed.
Simone from Philly.
Sorry, that was super low. Who is it?
Simone from Philly.
Simone, hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Mighty and Sugarland.
Hey, welcome.
Pete from Florida.
From Tennessee.
All right, Pete and someone from Tennessee.
Desi.
Oh, Desi. Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Dana, Ohio.
Hey, Dana. So we got a couple from Ohio tonight. Cool. All right. Anyone
This
else?
is Brad. I'm in North Texas.
Okay. Welcome, Brad. All right.
Liz, Fort Worth.
From Fort Worth. Who is it from Fort Worth?
Liz.
Oh, Liz. Welcome.
Greg in Texas.
Hello.
Brian, South Texas.
Someone in Texas I didn't catch.
Philip.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
Yeah, Brian from Ontario, and I bug Sandhya today.
Okay.
Mighty and Sugarland.
All right, welcome. All right. Anyone else?
Jody in New Hampshire. Hi, Maria.
Oh, Jody. Hey, welcome. All right. Anyone else out there?
Angelo in Ottawa.
Hello, welcome. We've got an international crowd tonight. Very cool. All right. Anyone else?
Hi, guys. It's Judy from Connecticut.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. All right. Anyone else that we might have missed?
Linda in Texas.
All right. Very good. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I'll put another call out since we seem to be getting anyone else. All right, very good. Well, welcome everyone. I'm not sure. Do we have any first time callers? All right, didn't think so, but I like to check in case I've missed something. So, all right, well, welcome everyone who would like to get us started tonight with the first question or comment of the evening. And remember, just say your name and we can... who is that?
Hi, this is Nate from Maryland. I just joined just when
hi.
you ended the call.
Oh, welcome.
Okay.
All right. And you had a question? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I use the Apple Podcast Catcher, and I would like to either download or save. I'm not sure what the difference is. Multiple episodes at the same time, so I could listen to them when I don't have Wi-Fi. Is it possible to download? What's the difference between download and save? And is it possible to get multiple episodes in one fell swoop?
All right. Anyone out there using the Apple Podcast app, the one that's built into iOS and can talk about downloading? All right. I personally use I personally use Overcast, so I have not played with Apple Podcasts. Well,
let me ask, with Overcast, can you download multiple episodes at the same time? Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Well, first, go ahead, Herbie.
I'm just going to take an educated guess here. I wonder, so the download would definitely download to your phone. I'm wondering if the save just saves to like your library or favorites. So that means it doesn't download to your phone, but you can get access to it later. And that is just a guess. And yes, Overcast will download multiple episodes if you can actually tell it to do that. and I'm not sure about the Apple Podcast. But that's my best guess on the Apple Podcast.
This is Brad.
Thank you very much, Herman.
All right, go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind when you download multiple episodes, it sets them up in a queue. It downloads one, then it downloads the next one you told it to download, then it downloads the next one. They don't all download at once. It creates a big digital traffic jam. So it takes a while, but it puts them in a queue. And yes, they will start downloading in sequence.
Yeah.
And with I also use Overcast. Love it. I find the Apple Podcast app just cluttered, confusing, bloated. I don't know. I haven't used it in years.
Yeah, I find it a bit mediocre compared to what we can get with other podcasts. I like it for browsing, for discovering new shows, but then I'll subscribe to what I want in Overcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, with Overcast too, Nate, like as soon as you can also set it in settings that as soon as if you have a phone with a good amount of storage and such, you can set it to immediately when you open the app for it to download the episodes that are available that you haven't downloaded yet. So then just automatically, stuff from your queue would be downloaded. So there's a lot more, and Overcast is a free app. So, and you can, I forget, I would really hope that Apple Podcasts allows you to export your feeds into an OPML file, but I genuinely don't know. If it does, you can then just import those into Overcast. So,
okay, I could try Overcast and see what I could do.
See how you like it. Yeah. Yep. All right, very good. Who would like to ask the next question?
Simone from Philadelphia.
Yep, go ahead, Simone.
Is there a way, I know there's a way, but can you tell me how I can remove the flash from my lock screen? It has a tendency to just come on, just randomly, and I won't know that it's on. And it might be on for some time. And so I'm not quite sure how it's coming on, because sometimes I'm not even on my my lock screen, but then I'll go to my lock screen and it'll say that it's on. And I am low vision, so I can see that it's on. And I'm like, well, how did that happen? So I just want to get rid of it off of my lock screen. Is there I don't want to assume, because I'm coming from Android, so I don't want to assume. I know on the Android there's a way you can do that. So I'm assuming there's a way you can do it on the iPhone. Is the first question? And if so, how can I go ahead and do that?
All right. So how to remove the flashlight from the lock screen.
This is Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
Can't do it.
Yep.
Really?
Can't remove the flashlight button, and you can't remove the camera button.
You can't customize your lock screen?
No.
You can customize your lock screen, but that isn't one of the things that you can, change. Yeah.
What?
Are you saying that your lock screen comes unlocked without you knowing it?
No, just the flash comes on, because sometimes it's already unlocked, like I'm actually using it, and I may not.
Are you using VoiceOver?
Yes, it happens even if VoiceOver is on. So, and I'm noticing, like, I'm not even on my lock screen. I'm actually actively using my phone. And I'm using it, all of a sudden I saw it happen. Was it today or yesterday? All of a sudden I'm using it, and then boop, the flash came on, and I wasn't even on my lock screen. And I said, what is going on here? So I had to go to my lock screen to turn it off, and it said flash, on. And I'm like, well, I wasn't even on my lock screen. So how did it? I was actively using my phone. You know what I mean? I was using it. So I'm like, I wasn't on the.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
You're talking about the flashlight.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is that the flashlight is turning on when you're not aware of it. Now, I can't recall what phone is it that you are using?
The 13.
Okay. And I don't know if that was one of the problems, but with some phones, the flashlight button can be accidentally hit without the person knowing it, and then the flashlight is on, and of course that eats up your battery.
Mm-hmm.
So what you just need to do is if you can activate your which thing is it now? You could
The
go
control.
into settings and turn it, but yes, if you can activate your control panel, the
Okay.
Control
flashlight,
center. Yeah.
the control center, I'm sorry. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
And the flashlight should come up in there, and if it's on, it'll tell you that it isn't. You can turn it off. So I think that's what the problem is, that it was somehow turned on and you were unaware of that. And so you just need to turn it off.
Well, yeah, I know that I need to turn it on. I'm just finding out why is it coming on when I'm not on my lock screen. Because especially this time, I was actually actively using the phone. So it was in my hand and I was in another app. Like I was on my phone doing, I don't know if I was sending a text message or doing something, you know what I mean? So I wasn't like away from I was using it and I saw it when it came on. Typically, I don't see it. It's not until later on I kind of just noticed that it's on.
Sure.
So I know that I need to turn it off, but I'm just saying, like, how can I avoid it from?
Yeah, we're gonna have to move on.
So we'll just make a quick note. So it's also like Terry was saying, an understandable, Terry, there between Windows calling it a control panel and there's such similar words, so no worries. But in the control center, so I wonder, I don't know, someone you might have like inadvertently, I'm just taking a guess, because by default it is in the control center as well, and that is where you're swiping down from the top of the screen, and maybe inadvertently, because I mean I've done this too, like just with speed, you slide around when you don't mean to, and maybe inadvertently the control center got activated, and then as you were getting out of it, perhaps you activated flash again. I'm totally speculating, but you can take it out of the control center, you just can't take it out of the lock screen. And for the you go into settings, I forget if it's under general now, I would have to check, but you definitely can customize whether it's in the control center. So, all right. Well, I hope some of that is a little helpful. And I don't know if you all are hearing my dog is having a very vivid dream and there's some sleep barking. So sorry if that's coming through. Who would like to ask the next question? We are seeing Rosetta. We are seeing a raised hand. We typically don't use raised hands on this call, so feel free to just say your name and that you have a question. So, but go ahead. I did see you have a hand. We're not hearing you if you are attempting to speak. It's
okay. Can you hear
there
me
you
now?
Are. Yep.
Okay,
yes.
I muted myself.
Sure.
I was wondering, I have some problems with way around, and I was wondering if anybody used that, because I was wondering, how do you erase from those little buttons what you put on it?
Oh, all right. Does anyone, I do use way around. Does anyone else, before I know how you can overwrite them. I don't know if I've ever just completely delete, because like you don't have, like when you, if you've used the way tag for something and now you want to use it for something else, yes. You just, you scan it and then you select, oh gosh, what is the button called? Like overwrite or something like, now I'd have to do it and actually grab a tag. But the wording should be something like when you're actually seeing what's there should be, is it called like write or overwrite or something? And then you would click create. I mean, you can definitely reuse the tags. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have any? Like I said, I would have to go grab one and and try it for the actual wording to recall that. But I know it's in one of the corners. It ends up being that option.
This is Pat. I use way around, but like you, I have not erased a tag in so long. I don't remember what you have to do. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I do have. I think we can. Come back to that in a second. I do have some tags here with me. It's just a matter of I need to just get one, pick one up physically and, do this and see what it it comes back with. So we can, unless does anyone else using way around and know how this is done?
This is Helene.
Yep, go ahead, Helene.
I also, because of you, Maria, got these way around, and I'm totally into it, but I know that you can do it where it says scan, read. If you want to create, it'll say create, and then write. So I would say just take the tag and just do create on it instead of doing scan and read. If you were changing it, just do create and then write, and then so then you've changed it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you. That would make sense, because it would just recognize, like, it'll just overwrite, what is there. And I think too, when you are reading the tag as well, I think there is a button. I'm like holding one in my hand right now, so I'm trying to do it in real time. I think even just once you read it, there is a way to in that screen as well to select, like, create or something like that to overwrite it. So but yeah, it is definitely possible. So why don't we can go on to another question, and I'm literally holding a way tag right now in my hand, and I can quickly go on mute while someone else is talking, and I can give a more detailed
Maria, this is
response.
Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
If you'd like to go do that, I'd be happy to host and entertain questions while you're doing that, and kind of hold down the fort.
Oh, well, thank you. I will try and I appreciate that. Sandhya's here as well. I definitely appreciate. I will attempt to, but thank you very much. Yeah, I will multitask here. So who would like to? Yeah, exactly, for sure. So who would like to ask the next question then?
Yeah, this is Greg.
Go ahead, Greg.
Just to follow up on the way around.
Yes.
I've been kind of disappointed because I'll scan the button. I have my shirts, buttons on each of my shirts. Yep. And I'll scan a button, and then I'll go to the next shirt, and I'll scan that, and I'll get the same results as I did on the first button. And I'm holding it away, so it's not picking up that same button. But yeah, I've had mixed results lately. Has anybody else had that?
Oh, so you're saying that that it, like, even if you're like the two way tags are like in close proximity, but and you feel like it's picking up the second one or the first one, excuse me?
Yeah, I scan the first one. I read the first one.
Uh-huh.
And then I decide, okay, I don't want to wear that shirt. So I go to another shirt and I scan that button, and it'll give me the same results as it did for the first button. And I'm keeping them, I'm consciously making sure they're not close together.
They're not close. Sure.
This is Helene.
Yes, go ahead, Helene.
I don't think that's what's happening because it's happened to me. And I have to leave the app and then go back in it again because it's holding on to it and it didn't change. Like it needs some way of getting away from it. It's just holding it in its memory. And so if you if you shut it down and then go back in again and then start it and then say open way around and do it again, then you have a better shot. But it is quirky.
It is, yeah. I have found it to be a little quirky sometimes as well. Yeah, I don't know what, because I know it does sync with the cloud. It's supposed to, like if you were to log into your account on another device, it would save the way tags, and it would bring up your way tags again. And I don't know if that's just like some issue with that cloud not refreshing or what is going on. I would definitely reach out to Way Around as well and report, especially if you can reliably, reproduce that. I would say definitely let them know, because I can't, like, we're not the only ones, right? So the more people they hear it from, the better. But yeah, you're definitely not not alone there with some of that quirkiness.
Okay. Thank you, Maria and Elaine.
Absolutely. All right. And then just to follow up. So when you do scan an existing way tag, what you'll get the information on it. And then there will be, in addition to the read and create buttons and then the information that you have associated with the tag, there will actually be an edit button. So you can select that edit button and then write what you want to write, and then select the write button. And then, scan the actual way tag, and then that will overwrite what was there before. So that was the missing button that we had in the steps was the edit button. All right. Who would like to ask the next question?
This is Ed.
Go ahead, Ed.
Just a comment on that system that you were just talking about.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the same system. It's the Magic, the pen pal system, and I thought that I would take the large tags, which were way too big, and cut them in half and put them on different items. And when I recorded on one tag, it changed all of them. So if I had that same tag split into 2 or 3 pieces, the recording would change in all 3 pieces, no matter what, like even if you just do it with one.
Yeah. So this is actually a different. Yeah. So it sounds like you're talking about like you're talking about the pen friend, right? Is what you're. Yeah. So
I didn't know whether those tags work the same way.
Well, see, the way tags, so what they are, so this works with your iPhone. It works through NFC, near field communication. And so it uses that NFC reader that's on the top edge of your phone. I mean, they have an Android app too, but since we're talking iPhone, it's on the top edge of your iPhone. And then you scan those labels and, you write content to them, and then it reads it back. And what they are, they're a variety of, so there are stickers, but they're actually smaller. They're like the size of like, I don't know, like a postage stamp or some such. And then there are also like buttons that you can either use safety pins with or sew them. There are 2 different kinds of buttons. There are clips that you can use like a rubber band to clip them through. 2 types of clips, one that can go on metal and one that doesn't. The 2 types of stickers, the buttons, the 2 types of buttons. Oh, and the magnets. There are magnets. And so all of these, so they're small. So I can't imagine that you'd want to like cut them because they're literal.
So is the recording on the actual tag, or is it in the?
Yeah, so you're not actually recording it. You're actually typing out what you want to say. So they're text fields, and there are a bunch of different types of details that you can select to put. Like you put as much detail as you want. There's like an edit field of like, I forget, like 4,000 characters that you can put stuff into. And then there's like an add details, and you can specify if it's, a clothing or a product or a, paper or whatever.
But is the information isn't recorded directly onto the button? It's recorded. It's in your iPhone, and it's just an ID button.
Yeah, so it's recorded. Okay, it's in the cloud actually. So
it's actually working the same way, but it's a different type of. It's not just a label. It's like a button. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This is Terry.
Yes, go ahead, Terry.
The pen friend does record onto your phone. It's a recording, not a written text, although I think with Way Around you can also do, I believe you can do recordings if I'm not mistaken, but anyhow it is a different system, but I would not cut them in half either, because that's one tag with you're going to get the same thing regardless of what part of the tag you're using. So I don't know that I would recommend cutting them.
No. I'm sorry. This is Ed. Yeah, yes. I understand what happened and how I did it. I just thought that possibly the same thing was happening. And the pen pal you can record on the pen pal and download it onto your iPhone or your computer.
Okay.
Or it holds a lot of memory just in the pen pal itself. But,
yeah. So this is just a little different in that it's not actually happening on your iPhone itself. It's all being in the cloud with your Way cloud, as they call it, in the Way cloud associated with your account. It says this NFC tag, right? This chip number, whatever, however the tags, I forget if it's like RFID or what they look like, but this NFC tag is associated with this information.
Okay.
So yeah, if you cut, well, first these are
Brian.
similar, but I think if you cut them too, you'd probably it wouldn't even be able to identify the full NFC tag too. So, yes. Go ahead, Brian, and then I think we can shift to another topic.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say you're correct. It is on their cloud, but also on your phone, because I've used my Way Around tags without having cell connection.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So it probably downloads that data to your phone so that you can use it offline too. So
Yes.
that's great. That's like super convenient, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you don't have an internet connection and then you don't know what your stuff is. So that's a good call on their part.
This is Jody.
Very good. All right, go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, I was just going to say another choice is that you can buy NFC stickers on Amazon. And then you can get the NFC Tag Manager for free from the App Store. And it's a very straightforward app. It just has the same 3-button scan, create and erase or whatever. And so you can get now they don't have the fancy ones like buttons that are laundry proof or anything like that, but you can buy simple NFC stickers on Amazon.
All right. Very good.
Dana.
All right, go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, different question.
Sure.
When I before I was getting notifications on purpose from weather saying when it was going to rain out, spoken out loud, rain starting in an hour and lasting for a half hour and then we'll stop. But I don't get those anymore. Now I have to go to the notification center and see what it says. I'm getting the sound. How do I get the spoken notifications again? Does anybody know?
All right. Anyone have any thoughts on speaking that way? And that's the only one that's like behaving in a different way. Your other notifications are still behaving as you expect?
Yes.
All right. Ready. Anyone have any thoughts on that? All right. Well, that might be something that someone needs to do some kind of homework on. The only thing as I'm kind of thinking off the top of my head, I wonder if notifications for the weather app, are they set to deliver what is it called? Deliver directly, I believe, something like that. Versus being what is the term, like scheduled or in the summary? I'm trying to like quickly go to it. Immediate, there's like one that says like immediate, here it is, and then one that says critical alerts. So like this is specific for weather. So if you go into settings and notifications and then in the weather app, so there's like alert notifications, that setting you would want to be on, and then for the delivery you'd want to probably schedule that for immediate delivery. That is, let's see. And then there's one, apologies, that's my mom calling, and I have bypass do not disturb on. There is another setting that says, one second here. It says it's for let's see. There were these alerts. There was one for like critical alerts appearing. there was something about like time sensitive. I'm trying to quickly look here. Critical alerts, that's what it's called. And those would be your time sensitive, and they're also time sensitive notifications. So those kinds of things would be, I would believe, these like, severe weather alerts and such. So you might want to see if some of those are on.
Okay.
That's kind of the only thing that there is an announce option as well that does say announce notifications, which I know there's a separate thing for Siri, and we can get to this in the bite segment a bit, but like for me, I have the announcing of notifications set to off, but I do still hear voiceover, will indicate them. So I think maybe just making sure that those critical alerts, the immediate delivery, and that the critical alerts, and that the what is it called, the time sensitive, I believe they were called, that they are on, because those are just specific, time sensitive notifications, and the critical alerts, making sure those types of things are on, because that is what those are.
Okay.
Pat.
Pat, go ahead.
Greg was.
Greg, sorry. I don't know what I was hearing. Sorry,
Yeah.
we'll take Greg then first. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sandhya.
you covered it, Maria. I was just going to say the announced notifications in settings notification, announced notifications. You could check that, and if you turn that on, see if that makes a difference.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure, and you can do that on an app by app basis too, as well. All right. Pat, go ahead.
I was just going to say I never knew there was any announcement or alert for precipitation. So I didn't know how long ago you were getting those announcements.
Oh, yeah. About a year ago, I was getting them all the time when it rained. Or in the winter when it snowed, but lately though, I'm just getting the sound notification.
Yeah, they might have
speak anymore.
They may have removed that announcement.
This is Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
There's also a setting for time-sensitive notifications, which might be your weather notifications. It's there's an off and on toggle, and it describes it as time-sensitive notifications are always delivered immediately. And then there's an alerts. I would go into your notifications settings, Dana, in your settings app, and just look around. There's several of them that may restore what you had working for you there.
Okay. Thanks, Pete.
Sure. Yep. And just check check both your announcements for your notifications, and then just also check to make sure all those alerts are on, and see what happens.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Very good. All right. Who would like to ask the next question? Or make a comment if you have tried some new app recently or had some experience that you are wondering if others are having as well.
Mark in Montreal.
Go ahead, Mark.
Is anybody using as a secondary to probably seeing AI, which most people use? Our problem up here is a lot of the products in Canada are not in the database of seeing AI. So it'll say not found or something to that effect. So we have to go to something like Envision, which will go to Google if you manage to get the barcode, which is my problem, getting the barcode on Envision. If you do get it, you can go to Google or it will actually send you to Google, and you can see the barcodes in there and then order the product on Amazon or wherever. But I've been having a heck of a problem lately with Envision and getting that barcode. It seems to be a very narrow band and being totally blind and totally camera illiterate, uh, it's frustrating to say the least when you're trying to figure out where that barcode is on something, and the narrower the band to get it to make that noise. With Envision, it's a lot harder than it is with Seeing AI. But like I say, you can't get the product information on Seeing AI with a lot of Canadian products. So that's why I'm looking at Envision instead. Anybody have any comments or suggestions?
Sure. All right. Anyone have any input? Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, one thing that you can do is I always start by scanning the bottom, around the bottom edge, like if it's on a can. I go to the bottom edge, and then if you can feel where the seam is for the label, I go near the seam, because that seems to be where they put the barcode. There's also barcode scanners. I used to use one until I got Seeing AI. You might actually go to the App Store and get a barcode scanner that might give you more specific information. It's not gonna, it's not gonna be blind friendly. Well, I don't know. The one I had was accessible, but just try barcode scanners. But definitely start by trying to scan the bottom, around the bottom of the can and near the seam.
Somebody suggested, Mark in Montreal speaking again.
Yes,
somebody suggested that if it doesn't work in landscape, try it in portrait, and it works really well with Seeing AI, but not so much with Envision. Envision seems to be a real problem. I'm just wondering if anybody specifically could relate to Envision rather than just, Seeing AI or whatever.
Yep. All right. Anyone using Envision with barcodes? So I will say, I don't even remember the last time I actually scanned a barcode, because I just tend to use the document or the instant text, or short text, which, which depending on which app, right, and what they call it, to just actually, rotate the, product around or spin it around, whatever, and, actually scan the packaging and figure out the, directions that way. So that is definitely an option.
Maria, a lot of them are in French, not in English as well. This is where you run into an issue.
Sure. Oh, see, Envision is supposed to have that automatic language detection, so that's not working out then.
Wow. And if you can get the code, it's getting the code with Envision that's the problem.
No, but I'm saying, what if you just scanned, not using the barcode, right, but just scanning the text?
Yeah, you could do it that way, I suppose. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't scanned a barcode in ages, because I've just scanned the text and figured, out that way what it is.
Yeah, you could do it that way, I suppose. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Who would like to ask the next question?
Kelsey?
Go ahead, Kelsey.
I have a question about notifications.
All
and
right.
I hope I can explain this. So what I'm seeing is on my iPhone SE 2022, you know how when the when the screen's locked and you get a notification, and if you don't do anything, the screen just goes to sleep or whatever?
Sure, it locks, yeah.
But but for some reason my phone doesn't always do that.
You mean it stays unlocked when the notification comes in?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying this doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does lock and sometimes it, okay. Do you have any idea what types of notifications? Has there been a certain apps notifications or something like that have triggered it, or it seems to be pretty random? I hope that wasn't my connection. Oh, there you are. Okay. It's random. Okay. All right. Anyone have any experience with this? I don't think I'm not using an SE 2022, but I don't think I have personally seen that. And even like I have my auto lock set to never, but if it's locked and then the notification comes in, it will lock. All right. Well, I guess it sounds like, unfortunately, that we don't have any input. It might be something
This is Terry.
Okay, go ahead, Terry.
There are times, and it's random for me too, and I have an SE 2020. I don't have the 22, but where your phone, sometimes when a notification comes in, and if I go to it, the phone stays unlocked. It just depends on which item it is, but I can't say that it happens with specific ones or not with others. I don't know. It seems to be a random thing for me as well.
All right. Well, then at least it's not just you. It sounds like I would recommend reporting something like that to Apple. The more people they hear from, hopefully the faster it gets fixed. Like the Braille bug that we talked about, at least I know I've mentioned it here, where the auto, when you would scroll, when the text would go to the next page, not only would it not scroll, but then it would freeze up to the point, like you couldn't pan until you restarted VoiceOver. So that got fixed. So, enough people must have complained. So I would definitely suggest reporting that to Apple. All right. Who would like to ask the next question? Pat, go ahead.
Since I did the last update to iOS, I am noticing the VoiceOver seems to lock up again. And is anybody else having any more problems like that, and have they reported it?
All right. And when you're saying in terms of locking up, do you mean like the losing speech, or just the fact that it completely stops responding for a little while?
It stops responding, and you're in the middle of like typing a document or an email or something, and all of a sudden it just stops. And I have found that if I tell Siri to turn VoiceOver off and then turn VoiceOver on, I'm usually able to get right back where I was and continue working. But it was doing that many updates back, but I haven't had this problem for a while.
This is Pete.
Sure. All right, go ahead, Pete.
Yes, I'm experiencing it again. Actually, still, Pat. It seems to almost to be a little bit worse than it was in the previous updates as well. I have not reported it. I've been negligent on that, but probably should, obviously.
Yeah, because I called and they said they didn't have
any reports.
Issue, and I said, well, I'll take my issue. So
yeah, really. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, definitely there are some of these issues that just keep cropping up. It definitely is frustrating. And it kind of makes you wonder about like the QA, the quality, assurance and testing that these go through. So yeah, definitely make noise. And other, if doing it through Siri is a bit, like labor intensive in that moment, you might also want to set up, if you haven't already, the triple click shortcut of the side button to start VoiceOver. And so then hopefully you should be able to just use that to toggle it off and back on again as well, in case Siri
sometimes
is also being temperamental. Yes, go ahead, Pete.
Sometimes just waiting, it may take a little bit longer, but waiting 10 or 15 seconds, you'll often hear it resolve itself. It'll start talking really hurriedly and it'll be back. But probably Siri, the triple click home on the side button is probably the quickest way.
This is Shri.
I heard Shri or Gary.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. Go ahead, Shri.
This one, I thought this was a big known issue with Apple, and I called them last week because I noticed it occurring more often now than before. And they told me that they had no idea this was a problem. And what was really odd is like I talked to three different Apple accessibility, and they all said they did not know this was a problem. So I'm just curious if we're complaining or we're actually reporting this issue.
Yeah, that's definitely concerning.
Yeah,
we have to give them data, right? If we want them to prioritize, because as we've seen, when these bugs, when there are bugs that affect sighted people, as minor as they might be, they tend to get fixed really quickly because people make a lot of noise.
Yeah, and this is
yes, who is that? I missed
Pete.
the name. Oh, Pete, go ahead.
I just wanted to reiterate Shree's underlying point, and that I don't believe we should have to specify that we're reporting. It seems to me a good customer service mindset would be to, if you hear a complaint, then you make a note of it as if it's an official report. That's just my opinion, though.
This is Shri.
Sandhya.
All right. We'll have Shri and then Sandhya.
Yeah, when I say complaining, I'm complaining to us, like this group here, complaining that
Right.
the problem, not Apple, but one thing I did mention to him that this was going to be very difficult to report as a blind user because typically when this occurs, they want a screenshot. And this usually occurs when there's no voiceover. So it's very difficult to do this, on the fly, that it's just going to happen and we're all ready to do all this. So I did tell them that, this is not something that's easy to replicate. And when it does occur, that means we need to have either a sighted person or another phone or something else there because it really can't be done when there's no voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Gary.
All right. Go ahead, Sandhya.
Yeah, I wanted to recognize Gary. He was waiting.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, Gary.
Now, I had this problem a few updates back, and I was using Alex at that time. And so I switched voices to Samantha, and now I don't have it yet. I suspect that, it's been about 3-4 weeks since I switched. So I don't know if that will help switching synthesizers or not, but it seemed to clear it up for now, for me anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Worth a try for sure. Sometimes these things are, text to speech, engine specific. So, all right. Very good. Who would like to ask the next question?
This is Desi.
Go ahead, Desi.
Okay, I'll try to be quick with this because it's kind of convoluted, but I host every other Sunday night a gospel sing call through ACB community, and there was a gentleman who wanted to sing or play actually instrumentally a song the other night live. And we had him turn on original sound in the Zoom app, and he would get a few notes in. It would sound really good. And then all of a sudden it would really cut out a lot and we could barely hear him. And I was trying to figure out what else we could have him do that would stop the sound from cutting in and out.
All right. So basically it sounds like turning off the Zoom's, the processing, right? Like all of its audio stuff that it's doing.
So like I said, we did have him turn on original sound.
Right.
And that would start to help. But then the further in he got, the fewer notes we could hear.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is. Does anyone have any thoughts on that? I would have thought original sound would have done it because that should have turned off the the only thing, and there aren't any audio effects in iOS. Who did I hear?
Ed,
go ahead, Ed.
I know I've done violin lessons on Zoom, and my teacher uses a better microphone but I was also just thinking, you also have sound protection on your audio, like to protect your ears, and possibly it has something to do with that. I don't know. I don't know if it would affect it at her or his end going in, but possibly coming out the other end.
This is Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
I believe, Maria, that the iOS microphones, iOS does process the sound irrespective of whether you're in the Zoom app or not. I don't know that, and I may be wrong, but I don't know that maintaining original sound in Zoom eliminates all audio processing, because I think the iPhone processes audio for optimal benefits, for whomever may be using and listening and speaking on the iPhone. And I don't think it's unprocessed. So that may be there regardless of whether or not original sound is on.
Thank you. That is, I was thinking about that after too. Yeah, because I was just remembering like the last time that I made just a recording, like in the voice memos app, and that has nothing to do with the original sound. And I could definitely tell that some processing was happening.
They do all kinds of processing.
And like you can't do anything about that. It just happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is Terry.
All right. We'll take Terry first, and then we'll go back to you, Desi. So Terry, go ahead.
If it's a recording that he's sharing.
No, it's not.
It's a live. Okay, it's a live thing. I can tell you, I know my church uses Zoom, and for certain types of instrumentation, Zoom works really well when it's live. And for other types of instrumentation, it seems to want to process it. And so it's probably, I'm thinking it's a Zoom processing thing here, unfortunately.
All right. Go ahead, Desi. I know you're going to make another comment.
Yeah. So I thought I had remembered some setting in some audio settings somewhere on the iPhone itself where like you could have, when you're talking on your phone, how it will process out a lot of the background noise, but I thought there was a setting to switch that off so that it would give you all the background noise, so that like if you're in a mall and there's a bunch of noise around and the person on the other end wants to hear that, they could. But I've looked everywhere and I couldn't find that. So I was thinking that might help as well.
This is Sandhya.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Sandhya.
Yeah, I mean, I think, didn't we already mention original sound? But we were saying that that's not really doing the whole trick for you.
Right. But that's in Zoom. I was talking about the
phone. Yeah, the only thing I can think of, I know like if you have AirPods, there's like the transparency mode, right, where you can hear the background sounds, or you can, with the AirPods Pro, I think you can turn off the active noise cancellation, but that's not like via the phone's internals themselves. Go ahead, Pete.
I have a question. Is there, in fact, when you're using the Zoom app on the iPhone, is there even an original sound setting?
Yes, there is.
In the iPhone? I know there is on the Mac, and I assume there is in Windows.
There is.
Yeah, no, there is on the iPhone. Yeah.
Well,
but again, that's the original sound minus Zoom processing, right? That's whatever iOS is doing is still there.
Still iOS process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks. I just thought maybe somebody would know, and I did think that I remembered some setting from a long time ago where you could have the noise be canceled or not. On your plain iPhone, but I couldn't find it. So, well, thanks everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Marty.
All right. Well, we do have about a minute or so until our halftime show. So why don't we save, I think there were 2 questions there in the queue. Why don't we have Sandhya take those up after we have our movie and our iBUG Bite segment, and that way we have something to start off the second hour.
Marty,
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on that last question.
Okay, why don't we'll take that comment and then we'll go into the second half.
I think there is a noise cancellation settings in sounds on the iPhone, but if you turn that off, you get interference and stuff, and you get a lot of background noise that you won't want. So I think it's in sounds. I've seen it when I do all the when you go into the AirPod stuff. I think it's the phone microphone or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that is specific. Right. That is specific to the AirPods. Yeah, to when you're wearing those.
I thought it's general for the phone, Maria.
Oh.
I think.
Well, something to check out then when not wearing AirPods, I guess, then to see if that is still there. So all right, very good. Well, Sandhya, over to you for some intros and then the excitement of our movie announcement.
All right, very good. Thank you, Maria. Maria. We are ready for our second half. Lots of great questions during the first half. Please, if you have not gotten to say hello, we'd love to say hello to you, say your name and where you're from. And if this is your first time, let us know that too.
This is Karen and Philly.
Hey, Karen, welcome. And
this is Jerry from Vermont.
Hey, Jerry, welcome.
Thank you. Jen from Nashville.
Hello, Jen.
Sharon from New York.
Hello, Sharon. Welcome.
Gloria from Houston.
David and
Gloria from Houston.
Gloria, welcome.
Hey, Kathy from Tulsa.
Hey, Kathy.
Sorry.
And Shree, welcome. Well,
Sarah from Vermont.
Hey, Sarah, welcome.
Hey.
Carol from Houston. Hello, Carol. Who else we got? Anybody else? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess we know what time it is. We are going to find out about our movie. The iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies will be this Friday. And that will be at 8 p.m. Central on the same call, social time at 7:30. And, well, I don't know what's going to happen. We are going to find out who's going to be giving us our clues. And with that, let's see what's going to happen next.
Okay, yes. I am here, but...
Oh, you're here.
But I have some unfortunate news.
Oh, no.
It is so hot that my computer has decided to melt. And unfortunately, the movie clues were in there. So unless somebody has them, I'm trying to remember, did I email them to someone? This is Stephen. Stephen, you actually did, Michael. I actually, Sandhya did, because she thought that might happen to you, because these things just always seem to happen to you. So I do have the clues, Michael. Well, that's good news, because I know that everybody would hang up if we did not do the big reveal. So, Stephen, I will turn it over to you. All right. Well, yes. Stephen Michael McCullough to bring you the clues and save the day. You can send me a check later, Michael, Sandhya. Yes, we do have the clues. And remember, the same rules apply as the rest of the call. No yelling out the answer. We need to say your name and wait to be recognized. And you get one guess per clue. And hopefully there won't be, 15 to 20 clues here. We'll get through this in short order. But there's at least 5, maybe a bonus clue if we need it. And if we need any more than that, Sandhya, then, yeah, my computer will melt too. So,
All right. So
Are we
told them-
ready
you
for
told them the
clue
rules,
number
right?
1?
One guess per clue.
One guess per clue.
Yeah.
All right. Clue number 1.
Oh,
Our
say your name.
film. What's that?
Say your name before you yell out the answer.
Yes, say your name before you yell out the
He
answer.
said all that.
All right. I don't listen to what he's saying. Come
I
on.
don't blame you.
Go ahead.
Our film starts off about 7,000 miles away. Now, I guess that depends on where you are. If you're in the place where it takes place, I guess it's right there. But our film starts off about 7,000 miles away. Any guesses there?
This is Ned.
Ned, go ahead.
Is it The French Connection?
Ooh, The French Connection. Let me think. Let me look at. Okay, no. Oh, that's a good guess, Ned. That is a very good guess. Not quite the right answer, though. Anybody else want to take a guess at it? Anybody? Wow, we may actually get this done pretty soon.
This is Ned.
This is Greg.
No, only one guess per clue, Ned. Wait till the next clue. Greg, go ahead.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, another good guess, but not quite the right answer. We'll take one more guess and we'll move on to clue number 2.
This is Vincent.
Vincent.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee. Didn't we see that one already? Maybe not. We've seen a lot of movies, but Crocodile Dundee is not the right answer, but that's a good try, Vincent. All right, let us move on to clue number 2. Our film is about a group who meet once a week, kind of like iBUG Buzz. Oh, please don't tell me iBUG Buzz is in a movie and we don't know about it. What would we call it?
Where do you get these clues?
Afraid to ask. Our film is about a group who meets once a week, kind of like iBUG Buzz. Okay, I read it a second time and it makes sense now. Not iBUG Buzz. Kind of like iBUG Buzz. So this is a group, apparently. Anybody have a guess?
This is David.
David, go ahead.
Could it be the Joy Luck Club?
The Joy Luck Club is ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
David.
Yeah, David.
Oh,
David on
yay.
the second clue.
Good job, David.
Wow, David, way to go. It came out in 1993. It opens at a farewell party. And then in a series of flashbacks, tells the secrets and stories of our principal characters.
Where?
In widening circles of experience, what is about to be forgotten are the principal characters. Let's see. Trying to see where it shows me here.
7,000
Chinese. It
miles
says
away.
these stories are about Chinese and Chinese American characters,
Mm-hmm.
but they are universal stories. So there you go.
How about that?
So Johnny, what do we have for our winner tonight?
Well, another first for iBUG. So, David, I hope you're into Mahjong. That is a game sort of similar to Rummy. You know, we've all played Rummy. But it's based with tiles. And, of course, they're iBUG colors, and they're environmentally friendly. So they're not made of ivory, needless to say. But some of our
No
iBUG...
Chinese food, though?
No Chinese food. You're going to go play
I'm hungry right
Mahjong.
You could get that anywhere, David.
Yeah, Mahjong,
Oh, they're from
iBUG
China.
color
It'd be better.
tiles. Yeah, they're not made in China. They're made here. All right,
Probably
very
be
good.
cold by the time it got
Yeah,
you.
That's right.
Good, David, and thank you very much. And this is our... So, Stephen, are you walking off the stage now?
Is it stage
Do
left
the
or do
mic
I go
drop,
right?
Yes,
I
you're
forgot.
walking off.
Do
There
the
you
mic
go.
drop,
Walking
Stephen.
off.
There he goes.
As opposed to jumping off the stage.
There you go. Rick Nelson.
Bye. Good night,
There he
Mr. McCullough.
Maybe he wants to stay.
All right, say good night, Mr. Stephen McCullough. Okay. All right.
Question.
Yes. There are no questions at this point. Go ahead.
Is Marjan accessible? I know it's got tiles and pictures on them of moons and things, and you're supposed to cover them
our version
or something.
is so everything in iBUG is accessible, hopefully. So there you go. All right, we are now putting everybody on mute. The best part. Okay, you all are gone. Thank you, Stephen, and good job, David. All right. So, we will now have our iBUG Bites segment, and for that, we'll hand it over to the lovely Maria. Maria, are you here?
All right. Thank you, Sandhya. So we are going to, for our iBUG Bite, interestingly enough, this topic just keeps coming up, and this was we decided this before this call, but it's fitting because we discussed it here as well, and that was going through a little bit of the notification settings here. So hopefully this might be able to clear up some of the questions and confusion that we had from earlier, and we can see just how much we can customize our notification experience. So I did open notifications. Heading. So I went into settings and selected notifications. Display as heading. So this first part talks about how you'd like the notifications to be displayed. So we have count button. The count, meaning it would just say the number of notifications that you have versus actually showing them. Selected. Stack. And I believe this might be more of a visual thing because they do still appear, even though it's a stack, it's not like I have to swipe up and down between them. I still flick left and right to go between them. So you have the options here of a stack list or a list. I haven't tried the list, but I think it seems to me like that just might be more of like a visual appearance thing. But the count most definitely is a difference you will notice where it'll just tell you the number. Choose the default for how notifications appear. And there's the explanation from Apple. Scheduled summary. 8 a.m. Now I stopped the speed share. This is definitely out of the scope of this iBUG Bite. I think we have covered this at some point, but this is great. You can set up notification summaries so that you don't just get bombarded with notifications directly when they come in, and so you don't have like a million notifications on your in your notifications center. But this is a way, like I have set them up to be at 8 and 12, and I forget what other time, but all of them just, it's all quiet except for critical ones that I've set up. And then at like 8 and at noon, and I think it's 6 p.m. is my other one. All of the notifications that just, come up in a nice summary. I mean, they're always there. Like it'll say, here's what's coming up in your next summary, but it's just a way to keep them a little more collapsed and manageable and not like, the moment they come out, not like dinging at me. So that is a useful feature, but beyond the scope of this. Show previews when unlocked button. So this item is talking about, so like by default now it's saying when unlocked. So if this is how yours is set, when your screen is locked, you'll see it'll just say like messages, one notification, or, phone, one missed call, whatever. Like it won't actually tell you the content of the notification. And you have to unlock your phone by if your setting is set like this in order to actually see the content, see that preview. So if you do want it, if you do want the content of your notifications to appear on your lock screen without having to unlock that, you would change this setting to say to be on always. Screen sharing. Notifications off. This is determining when you are doing a screen share whether the notifications appear. By default it's off because presumably if you're sharing your screen you don't want the notifications getting in the way. Siri heading. So now we get to this, what we were talking about, announcing notifications. Announce notifications on button. And it's saying on here, you can set this to be globally, to have Siri announce the notifications, or if you go in here, notifications on. So there's the global setting, but if we keep flicking, have Siri read out notifications
Siri will avoid interrupting you and will listen after reading notifications so you can respond or take actions without saying, "Hey Siri." Siri will announce notifications from new apps that send time-sensitive notifications or direct messages.
There you go. I let that play because it was just a good explanation. And if we keep going.
Announce when connected to heading.
This is determining, even though it's on, when is Siri actually going to announce these notifications?
Headphones. On. Siri can read out notifications when supported headphones are connected. Reply without confirmation. Off. When acting on a notification that supports replies, have Siri send replies without first reading out the message.
So see, Apple's just doing a good job of explaining here. So
announce notifications from heading.
So now this is what the second part that I wanted to show you. So now this from heading, now you can just quickly go down your apps.
100 heading not A and E. ACB link off.
So for example, so like that one is off, right? So you can have the setting globally on, but then you can on an app per app basis decide if you don't want to receive those Siri announcements for those notifications. And this just shows you all the apps on your phone here. So if we go back out to the main notification setting,
announce notification style. Heading.
And if we keep going, you see this is nicely as a heading. Although I will say, if you keep going by headings, sometimes it will tell you that there's no further heading when there really is. So it doesn't work as reliably, but in theory. So this notification style.
Notification style. 50 language. Notification style. Heading.
This is now you determine this on an app.
Siri suggest. Announce note.
You determine
A and ACB link scheduled button.
You determine app by app how you'd like the notifications to look. So just because I mentioned them earlier in the context of that question, let me just show you the ones for weather. And some of these apps will have more choices here than others. Some of them will just have this option of whether you want them to be in the scheduled summary or immediately delivered. Others will have that support them these time sensitive and critical alerts. So just because we were talking about it in the weather app, I will show that in a second. But let me just show you if I rotor.
Speaking headings.
If I rotor to headings.
Government alerts. Heading.
Go figure, it worked that time. Before it told me that there was no other heading, which was not true. So this notifications. See, it's skipping around by heading. It's not consistently navigating the heading by heading. So scrolling is useful here too.
Notification style. Heading.
And this is what we'll show with the weather app. So this notification style shows all of the apps and allows you to pick the style for each app.
Heading not found.
And see, now it's telling me heading not found, but it did tell me before that those government alerts were there. So I'm just going to move to the bottom.
Test alerts. And government alerts. Heading.
I just did a 4-finger touching in the second bottom half of the screen to go to the way bottom, and I flicked to the left a few times just to show you this quick government alerts heading. This determines if you will receive notifications for various government alerts. I think some of these names actually depend on country. So like our Canadian friends, you might have some different names here. So this is US government here. So like you'll see if I flick now to the right from government alerts.
Amber alerts. On. Emergency alerts. On. Public safety alerts. On. Test alerts. Off.
So those are just various government alerts as to whether you want to receive them.
Vertical test alert.
So now if we go back to the style, I'm just going to move back over here to the weather app.
Weather. Immediate. Critical alerts. Button.
So see, it does usefully tell you how you have the delivery set. So if we just go in here to weather.
Allow notifications. On.
So that's in general, if you want to allow notifications. So this is talking about weather specifically in this case.
Notification delivery. Heading. Selected. Immediate delivery. Deliver right away.
So that's pretty self-explanatory.
Scheduled summary. Deliver at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m.
And that's just giving my specific times. If you had a notification summary set for other times, it would tell you the correct time for you. And this is
selected. Immediate delivery.
You see, this is
selected.
What I wanted
Immediate selected. Schedule.
What I wanted to show there by selecting that is that those things are mutually exclusive here in this case. So it's either going to go into the summary or be immediate.
Notifications are delivered immediately.
And now this explanation relates to what is currently selected. So if I had selected that summary, it would have reflected that in the explanation, but I went back to select immediate.
Always deliver immediately. Heading.
But notwithstanding that,
critical alerts. On.
So some of these apps, again, this will vary. Some apps you'll have this, say if you set it to the scheduled summary, but then depending on the app, you might have certain of these time sensitive things that you would be able to set to have deliver immediately no matter what. So we have here for weather.
Critical alerts. On. Time sensitive notifications. On. Critical alerts appear on the lock screen and play a sound even if a focus is on or iPhone is muted.
So that's an explanation of that.
Alerts. Heading. Selected. Allow on lock screen. Button.
So pretty self-explanatory. Do you want them on the lock screen?
Selected. Allow in notification center.
And in the notification center.
Selected. Allow its banner. Button.
A banner, this is and you can tell, see, you can select multiple options. The banners are like those notifications that appear in the upper part of your screen, so they don't take up the entire screen. They just appear like a little overlay on the very top of your screen. And
banner style. Temporary button.
For these banners, you can pick whether they're temporary, meaning they will go away on their own after some time, or persistent, meaning that you need to manually dismiss them in order for them to go away.
Sounds on.
And then do you want a sound for the notification?
Announce. Heading. Announce notifications. Off. Button.
And this
lock screen appearance. Heading. Show previews. When unlocked, default. Button. Notification grouping. Automatic.
Those couple of settings there for announce and for the previews, those are just ways to set on an app by app basis those settings that we saw in the main notification setting, whether you want them to be announced by Siri and whether you want to be able to see the content of them on your lock screen without needing to unlock your phone. So again, you can set that globally or on an app by app basis, either here by coming into the app or going into that main setting for this. And then that'll show you the list of apps in the course of that setting as well. And then this notification grouping.
Notification grouping. Automatic.
This certain apps, it's how you want. Do you want just chronologically? Do you want the notifications from the app in a group, or do you also want it grouped? Some apps will group instead of just like a chronological. Other apps will group like by a thread or by a topic. It all just depends on the app. So if you want to let the app do that, you can certainly manually specify, or you can have it be automatic so that if the app supports that, it'll group that way. Otherwise, it'll be just a chronological.
Weather notification settings button. Weather
And then these are more specific settings related to weather that I won't go into here because this is just a general, more general overview of notifications. But the main takeaway that I hope you're getting from this is that you can really, really, really drill down and customize exactly how you want to receive notifications, what they can look like, and when you can access them and where on your phone. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I will try to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Maria. Who has questions for Maria about notifications? And
this is Terry.
Okay, go ahead.
Ever since I upgraded to iOS 16, I haven't actually gone into settings and customized anything yet. But one thing I noticed is that prior to iOS 16, if I woke up my phone but didn't unlock it, it would show me, I could swipe to the right and it would show me all my notifications. Now I just see one or two, and then I see categories of like YouTube, there are 2 notifications, or WhatsApp, there's 5 notifications or something like that. Is that something you can indeed go in and change or customize?
Yeah, so I think what you're referring, so like you can't, I don't believe you can, like, I think maybe you're thinking of like a few versions back, right, where there was none of this grouping and it would just show you like a big list of all the notifications as they came in. Yeah, and I'm not sure if you can completely go back to getting rid of all of those groupings entirely, because what you're referring to is that exact grouping, right? It's grouping by app. If I go into like this one for the weather here, if I do go into the notification grouping, so I just have automatic by app and off, so you can turn it like off for the specific app. I am thinking, let's see, if I go into globally, if you're wanting to completely turn off the grouping, I should just, since I just like went through them, but I don't think you can completely just, completely like globally, turn off the grouping for like every single app to bring back the, behavior from like a few iOS versions ago. They seem to be every single version of iOS, Apple seems to do some kind of tweaking with the notification center. And sometimes that results, this isn't a bug, but it just results in a different experience. Like I've heard, hopefully this will get fixed by iOS 17, but I have heard that like the scrolling issue has reared its head again, where you can't scroll through all of the notifications and such. So yeah, we kind of just have to roll with Apple's. They don't seem to be settling on a redesign, but yeah, I don't believe you can globally. You'd have to go in app by app if you wanted to turn off the grouping for a specific app.
Got it. Thank you.
This is Marty.
All right, go ahead, Marty.
On those, under those government alerts, it said test alerts. Are those the ones from the emergency broadcast system that you hear on TV and radio and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good, because there is a separate option for emergency alerts, which are like the actual, right, emergency alerts. I would think they might be. I'm not actually sure, because I never turned them on, so I've never actually gotten one. So that is something I don't know off the top of my head. I was just trying to do a quick Google search. It is saying
I might play with it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so this is saying, this is something about it's like some kind of, it's an alert. Okay, this is saying something about that it's literally a test. This thing is like when the iPhone's connected to a carrier, that if you can enable the test emergency alerts, and by default it's turned off, and when you receive the type of alert, you'll hear an alarm. Oh my goodness, hang on. My dog is like moving over here. You'll hear an alarm that's similar to, you'll hear the sound, it's similar to any kind of alert, and it'll just mention that it's a test. So I do think that it is probably those test alerts, and presumably they're turned off because you don't really need to know about them if they're, presumably you only want to know about them if they're an emergency, but I don't know if you would feel better hearing the test alerts too.
Nah, there are probably too many of them.
You know how loud those can be. I wouldn't want that. Yeah.
Thanks.
I heard someone. Who was that? Karen.
Karen.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you covered this, but I find it really annoying when you get a notification and then there's that 2-minute one that says 2 minutes ago. The notification again. Did you cover that? And how do I turn that off?
Yeah, I don't actually think in terms of, because I know what you're thinking. I know what you're talking about, like especially with messages, right? It'll come up again, like 2 minutes after the message. I haven't checked in actual messages settings, but I am not actually sure that you can turn that specific thing off. If someone else knows, feel free to chime in, but I have not seeing a way to. I think that's just more of an app feature that it'll bring it up for you again. Like, hey, you might.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
You can go into messages and tell it how many times you want that message to repeat. If you want it from just one time up to 5 times, so it repeats every 2 minutes for 10 minutes, you can change that.
All right. Well, thank you. Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, I learned something new as well. So thank you, Terry. Yeah. And so as we said, it's not in the notification setting, but it is in the app. So if you're finding some other app that is doing that, perhaps check its settings and in iOS settings and see if there's something that can be done about that too.
Dana.
Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, Maria, when you were in the weather app and you were going to the different settings, were you swiping right with one finger?
Yes, as I was going through in notifications. Yes, when I was going through weather, I was just going right to go item by item.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And
yep.
What is I'm unsure. What is global searching globally?
What is you mean when I was talking about adjusting a setting globally versus by app?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So what I meant was by global, I mean the setting applies across all the apps. So like, you had in the beginning of notifications, you had like the Siri announcing, you had the what else did you have that we could the showing previews, some of those, like you could set it so that it would be the same setting across all of your apps. And then you also have the option, as I was saying, separately to set it. So like if you generally wanted let's say like you generally wanted your notification previews not to show unless you unlocked your phone. But like there was some app where like you really don't care, like there's nothing personal or sensitive and you don't want to have to unlock maybe like I don't know, I think like the weather app I think might show, but like say there's just some app that you just are okay with it showing the previews on the lock screen with your phone being locked. You could set globally, you could set the setting to the when unlocked, but then you can go into the specific app and change that so that it would appear on the lock screen too. So does that make sense? Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
So you can really customize it.
Maria, I think we need to wrap it. This is Sandhya. Right. So great job. Wow. Wait, a lot of depth there. Thank you. Okay,
back
guys.
to you.
All right, thanks. Okay, so now back to our regularly scheduled program. Anybody who didn't have a chance to ask a question the first time around, please say your name. We'll get to you. Who would like to go? Anybody?
Didn't we? I forget who it was. I don't know if they're still here. I thought we had some questions right when we switched over. So if you're still here and you want to ask a question, feel free.
Yeah, it's gone. All right. Even if you asked a question, you can ask one now. Who would like to go? Anybody?
It's Sharon.
Go ahead, Sharon.
And I don't think this is just from my carrier, but I don't know now it seems that since the recent updates, if you get a voice message on your phone, you can't just ask, S to just read your new voice message. She tells me she can't do that anymore. And then she'll say, I can read you all your messages. And, we dance around for 5 minutes. Is that happening for everyone? Do you have any workaround or?
It's just you, Sharon. No, just kidding. Anybody?
This
is Jake.
I thought you were going to say that.
We got Jake here. Go ahead, Jake.
Have you tried to ask it to play your voicemail?
Yeah. Well, no, I say, can you play my new voice message? And she says, I can't do that, but I can play all your voice messages. Then I say, okay. And then she doesn't do anything. I mean, just, we're having a problem.
Siri doesn't understand like that you said play voice message before. So if you try to say play voicemail, that might help you.
This is Marty.
Okay, thank you, Jake. Go, Marty.
Yeah.
One suggestion might be, because I think it would play most recent going back. So if it's the most recent message, let her play your messages. And if it's the first one that you want to hear and you don't want to hear anymore, just say, because I think it actually might ask you, do you want to continue? Or you can say no.
Yeah, there you go. Just say no, Sharon.
Yeah, but yes, but it's hard for her to get her to play.
Right.
If there's a message, she doesn't seem to want to do it for me.
So maybe just maybe just say play my voicemail or something real simple, and then just see what. Have you tried that? And that doesn't work.
I think I have, but I'll try it again.
Try that. Okay. Sometimes it's the magic word. Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, who's next?
Dana.
Okay, go ahead, Dana.
Yeah. Does anybody know why? I'm doing the same thing I always have done. But does anybody know why the battery on my phone is draining fast? I'm putting my iPhone on low power mode. I am turning the screen curtain on. I am listening to I'm listening to internet radio at work all day on the phone. But I've done that for a long time, and it seems like, at the end of the day, I have very little battery power. Yeah. And before, when I did all that, it was like, at the end of the day, it was like 50%
Okay. All right. Anybody have any ideas for Dana? Why his battery is draining? How long have you had this phone?
A year. It'll be a year in January.
Okay. Any thoughts? Yep.
This is David.
Go, David.
If you've been playing radio all day and it's down to 57%, that's still pretty good. Because it's using a lot of resources, to stay connected to the internet that whole time. And I don't think that's unusual battery drain, but is that what you said? Maybe I misunderstood.
Well, this is I think what he was saying is it used to leave him with 50%, but now it's going totally down. So
it's down to zero.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like almost down to zero. The other day it was down to 3.
Ooh.
This is Shrey.
Oh, Shrey?
Dana, do you know what your battery health is?
No, not it. Well, it was. Gosh, no. I can look it up though, but as of right now, I don't know.
Okay.
This is Marty.
Go ahead.
Even though it's internet radio, do you think there might be a video in that stream? And so that would be killing your battery. And also, which phone do you have?
I have a 13 mini, and no, there is no video.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Final thoughts for Dana? Okay. All right. Good luck, Dana. Let us know what happens.
Yeah, this is Greg.
Oh, go, Greg.
Dana, do you have any other apps that are open that might be pinging location or anything like that?
Nope. I make sure I close all my apps.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I heard Shree. Go, Shree.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I just tested my voicemail. I just left a voicemail message to myself, and I asked it to play it. I have Verizon. It played it. Then it asked me if you want to repeat the new voicemail message, or it asked me, you want me to continue? And I just said cancel.
Okay, you're going back to the other question. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for following up. Okay. All right, Sharon. Maybe there's hope for you. Okay. All right. Good luck, Dana. Moving on. Who's next?
This is David.
David, go.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up an app. I don't know if we discussed this. I might have missed it, but it's a new one of those Chat GPT kind of interfaces. It's called Perplexity. That's like PERPLEXITY.
Okay. Yeah, sounds
Perplexity.
familiar. But tell us a little bit about it. What you got?
I mean, I think it's only been out a little bit. I mean, maybe a month or, all this stuff is really new, I guess, all these AI stuff. But yeah, I heard about it on a podcast, and I like it. Its interface is very clean, and it gives you the answers, and it also gives you like the source that it found the information.
Oh.
There's like little links embedded, kind of like a Wikipedia almost, where you could like go and verify where they get this information. They go to the original source, and it just it uses the it uses the 4.0 version of the GPT, because that actual, I think the actual Chat GPT app uses the one that's only stuck in 2021.
Right.
So this is the live version. I mean, the newest version, and so that's my app pick of the whatever.
Oh, right.
Gary, I don't say week. I don't have one every week, but this is one.
And this is paid? Is it paid or?
Yeah. It's free. I think there is some in-app purchases, but I haven't really been prompted for anything. There's no advertising yet.
Okay.
I'm sure that's going to come, soon enough.
That will come.
Gary.
Heard Gary. Go, Gary.
Yeah, I have that app. I just got it the other day, and I don't know. It leaves your messages in threads, and the only way I could see is delete the whole thread. But I may want to keep some of those questions and delete some of the other ones. I don't know if there's a way to do that in the app or not. I didn't see that.
Yeah, this is David. You may have to delete the whole thread. I don't know if you can delete individual searches in the history, but if you want to ask something new, you can always just say, "Hey, I want to ask a new question." And
I've been playing with it for the last few days, and it's
it'll switch gears. Not.
It's a fun app to play with, and I join you in recommending it.
Yeah, it's also available, I think, on the web. I think you can get it like perplexity.ai or something, or perplexity.com. I don't know. I think there's a web version too.
Okay. Thank you, David. All right. Remember, everybody, please stay on mute. We have like some kind of background noise, people, doing whatever. So if you're not speaking, please stay on mute. So I will be muting people. So if you, just letting you know. Okay. Who has a new question? Somebody doesn't know how to turn? Love to hear from you. Everybody.
This is Kathy.
Go, Kathy.
Actually, I just wanted to confirm. So this perplexity is just like when I ask Siri things, like sometimes I'll say, "Hey, how long do you air fry chicken nuggets or something?" And she's, or what's the best way to grow your hair? And she'll just come up with answers and from different places. Is it the same kind of thing?
Go ahead, David.
Perplexity?
It's similar to other seeing AI apps. You want to go? Go ahead, David.
Well, I mean, it pulls from the vast internet, which Siri also is doing. But you can ask it kind of like complex questions. You like kind of like those other Chat GPTs. I don't know if you saw. I think we already did a cafe on the other ones, didn't we? The Bing one or the what's that
This
one?
is Pete.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, Sri and I did the ChatGPT app and Call Annie.
Oh, Call Annie. Yeah, so it's kind of along the same lines. It just I just like the way it kind of operates.
But I don't think it has a voice feature, does it, David?
There is a voice button, but I tend to just use a dictate. If I want to dictate a question, I just use the regular keyboard
Yeah,
dictation.
I think it has a text field. You type your question in. You don't just do it like ask Siri, Kathy.
Right. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's in that way, it's not as, I guess, as handy as Siri, because Siri is, well, I would say she's always there, but we all know that's not, she's about 90, 80, 90%, or maybe less.
All right. Thank you, David, for that recommendation. Okay, next. Reminder, people, stay on mute if you're not talking. Okay, who would like to go next?
This
New
is
question.
Greg.
Go, Greg.
So how much of a battery drain does voiceover pose? I mean, if I was in an emergency situation and wanted to leave my phone on, would I be smart to turn voiceover off until I specifically needed it?
This is true.
Go ahead, Sri.
Okay.
I've never turned my voiceover off since I've had my iPhone. I've had my 12 since it came out. I just replaced the battery, and I think my screen time was like around 13 hours. So I've never turned voiceover off.
Yeah, this is Greg.
Okay, I think I heard Marty go.
Yeah. What I have found, Greg, is if you use a Bluetooth headset, you will save a lot of if you're just using the phone speaker, voiceover will drain the battery considerably more than if you use a headset, Bluetooth or otherwise, probably.
Okay, and that
this
coming
is
from
Greg.
you means a lot. Go ahead, Greg.
So my question is, if I'm running voiceover on my phone, which I always have it turned on, and let's say my phone the battery will last for 20 hours. Okay, if my wife does not have voiceover running, and let's say we're doing comparable things on our phone, is the battery gonna last be good for 30 or 40 hours? How big of a drain does voiceover put on the battery?
David.
Is it significant?
David. Yeah, David.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask this question. I was on my queue, or just pose it as a topic of conversation, because I've wondered that too, like how much less battery life are we getting from these phones than like someone who doesn't have voiceover. Now, I guess if voiceover is running but not doing anything, like it's not actually speaking something, I don't know if it takes a lot of resources, but I'm pretty sure if you're doing a lot of activities on the phone where it's reading out things, it's probably gonna churn more battery than, say, someone who's just looking at the information and not having to have it converted to text, to speech. And like he said, using the speaker, I think that's a good point. That probably does increase the battery drain.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, go ahead, Pete.
I was going to say, David, why don't you ask Perplexity?
Well, that's a good point.
I'm serious. They may.
They may.
They may.
Yeah, I just don't know if anyone's done any studies, and you kind of like.
Not that I've seen.
I guess you call it a blind study. No.
This is Shrey.
Blind.
All right, let's keep it Q&A here. Go ahead, Shrey. Go.
Greg, are you running screen curtain on your phone?
Yeah, I always have screen curtain turned on, but I've heard that makes no difference in battery life, that you're just putting I thought with the newer phones it might, but that just puts a curtain over the little dots, doesn't it?
I don't think so, because here's the test that I've done. I've put the screen curtain on, and I can sleep over my phone, and it doesn't get hot. But if you turn the screen on and you sleep over the phone, it'll get hot. So we all know that the heat causes the battery to drain. I know in my experience, I have not had the issues of, between my family, whether I have voiceover on or off. Obviously, I think if you have like the haptics of the phone, if that's probably going to take a lot out of the batteries, when you get the vibration sensation, things like that is what to me would drain more than with VoiceOver.
All right. Thank you,
This
Sri.
is
Anybody else?
Brian.
Go, Brian.
Yeah, actually, even with screen curtain, yes, you will save some battery life, but what I would suggest, if you're not using your screen, is go to display screen and the brightness and drop it down. I have mine drop down to 0 because I don't use the screen at all, for vision, that is. So it saves my battery quite a bit, I have noticed.
That is scary because we are both thinking the same thing, Brian. I don't know.
This is Sri.
Go, Sri.
I know that people recommend not to leave it completely dark in case some emergency occurs. Like if you're taking any medication and like the paramedics want to see your phone, and if you have it completely dark, sometimes they can't see what's on the phone. So I think I leave mine pretty low, very low, but I think somebody could actually see, a sighted person can actually see it.
All right. This is Sandhya. I guess that begs the question if they're going to know to turn off VoiceOver because they're not going to be able to use your phone anyway. So,
That's
all
true.
right. Okay. Next. New question. Somebody new? Hasn't had a turn. Love to hear from you. Who's that? Was that somebody wants to ask a question? All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoever said phone or some such, we could hear you.
There you go. Went back on mute.
Nope, back on mute.
All right. Who would like to go? Anybody?
This is Sri.
Go, Sri.
So I'm helping someone, and she brought up a good question that I couldn't figure out. She was on the iMessage app, and she was in a conversation, and she was in the middle of the conversation thread. And when she swiped right, it didn't go to the next conversation. Instead, it went to the toolbar. And I couldn't figure out what would cause that to jump from the middle of the conversation all the way down to the toolbar.
All right. Anybody? Thoughts? She's in a text thread, and she jumped to the toolbar instead of going to the next part. Yes?
She's running VoiceOver, and she has low vision, so she could visually tell me that that's what was happening.
This is Pete.
Go, Pete.
I have had that occasionally, and sometimes I've been able to resolve it with the 3-finger swipe up to it kind of extends the screen down past that scroll bar. That sometimes you look at the percentage on the scroll bar where it'll say, screen 1, 5%. If it's not at 100%, then use the picker flicker on the scroll bar and get it to 100%, and that'll extend the screen all the way down. The only other thing I've found kind of resets it is closing the app in the app switcher, and it almost sets it back. It's a matter of we're kind of running out of real estate, and I'm not sure that there's an answer other than trying your scroll up, to like go down a list, that kind of a thing.
All right. Thank you, Pete. Okay, who's next? New question, comment, problem. Who would like to go? So I have an issue. Just thought I'd share. I was playing with a PDF, a work PDF, and trying to see how I could read it. And I sent it to myself, and I just tapped on it, and it automatically opened. It didn't ask me, do you want to use any kind of particular app or, voice stream reader or super, there's all the different Envision, whatever. It didn't ask me anything. And then it started reading it. So, I know part of it has to do with how the PDF was created. So from work, probably it was some kind of accessible way, but is that just like a new thing now, so we don't have to specify, or what's going on there?
This is Brad.
Go, Brad.
It's always been there. It's in Mail. It'll open up something like that, an attachment or
Uh-huh.
even a Word document or something, and it's not opening it in an app. It's a little viewer that's in Mail.
A viewer. Okay.
And then if you want to open another app, you'll find a share button. You also find, I think it's in the upper left, is a done button, but it's just open it up, read only viewer.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Who else? Any other?
This is Marty.
Go, Marty.
Another question. Is that what you're taking?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. I have had a problem when I'm in the Apple, the native mail, the Apple mail.
Uh-huh.
Hasn't it, like, I'll see an attachment, and it's usually a PDF, and it will say the attachment, like picnic.pdf, and it will say so many bytes, like 300 kilobytes or something, like double tap to download. So I double tap, and it says starting download 0%. And then all of a sudden, it's after about 5 or 10 seconds, it stops. And then it says tap to download. So then what I do is I go out of the iOS mail, and I go into the AOL mail, because that's what I have. And so when I go into the AOL app, I can usually download the attachment. But for some reason, with the native mail, the Apple mail, I have usually it downloads, but once in a while it will not. It will tap to download, and then it stops, and then it says tap to download again.
Okay. Anybody else had this weird phenomenon? Seems specific. Okay, well, at least you have a workaround, Marty, so that's odd. Okay, yeah, PDFs are perplexing. Okay. All right. Anybody else? A few last-minute questions before we...
This is Jody.
Go ahead.
Yes. I follow a guy on YouTube named Pete Guston, and he is known as the Blind Surfer. And he's also, by the way, a voice actor. Whenever you hear trailers for movies or announcements for TV shows, that's probably Pete. So he was demonstrating an artificial intelligence application the other day in one of his videos. And oh my gosh, it was describing how far away people were and the environment and the whole thing. And he never named the name of the app, though. And I'm wondering if anybody knows what app that would be.
Okay. Maybe you can write to him, Jody.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I should go contact him and say, that's really cool. What app are you using?
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, anybody knew about this person and the YouTube guy, the surfer?
Or the app.
Okay, that's your
he's
homework.
He's got great videos if you want. Yeah, find Blind Surfer on YouTube.
That's your homework for next week. Sounds cool. Yes. And, today I had to go to the doctor's office, and I was playing with Seeing AI, and I hadn't played with the Seen option for a while. I mean, these apps are like always changing. And so it was we were in a waiting room waiting to get out of there, and it gave me I was moving my finger around this thing. Maybe it did it before, but I don't remember this. I didn't have to scan the room. All I did was take a picture, and then it was telling me seat and table, and then it was reading signs that it saw, like valet area. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember that, but it was pretty cool. And that was in the scene of Seeing AI. So, all right.
Yeah, this is Jody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe he was using the word. Maybe he had a 14 plus or something, and he was using the feature in Seeing AI. That's the what is it called? The world view. Yeah, maybe that's what he was using.
Yeah, but I didn't. I was doing it today with just I do have
just the scene.
14 Pro Max, but just the scene. I didn't go into world view. And, world view, you have to do that whole rigmarole, is scan to go a little pirouette and, see what's there, and then it tells you again. But this is just from a picture, so it's really very cool. Okay.
A pirouette?
Yes, a pirouette, a circle.
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm just visioning it.
You know, because
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
never a ballerina, but Brad does
Yeah.
pirouettes all the time.
Trying to get that image
I
out of
do
my
not
head.
pirouette.
You did the demo
No.
with the pirouette. Yeah,
Yeah, you did, Brad.
Yeah.
I was a witness.
Believe me, it was not a pirouette.
Okay.
I may have done a 360, but it was
We will
not
agree
a
to
pirouette.
disagree.
I
Yes.
agree. I disagree.
No,
Yes.
no. There was no
All
grace.
right.
There was no graceful movement involved. Trust me.
We know that. We know that. All right. Well, so Maria, thank you so much for helping me
Thank you,
facilitate
Maria.
tonight. And we will quickly review what we have this week. Tomorrow's Clubhouse, the mini buzz. So continue of what we're doing right now from 5 to 6. Wednesday we're off. Thursday's a book club. And it's the moon is a harsh mistress. So that's DB 25524. The movie is The Joy Luck Club. So it should be a really good movie. I really am looking forward to that. That's 8 p.m. Central. And then on Sunday, the iBUG Cafe. And we're going to check out some smart glasses. So come and check that out from 4 to 6. Okay, with that, we will say goodnight and have a great week. And we will let you go. We have a song.
night.
Don't worry. Hold on.
Of
It's
course.
well.
Oh, good.
Well, it's not a new song. I didn't say it's a new song. You want an old song?
We're not hearing a new release.
Okay, Sandhya, how do you spell pirouette?
I have no idea.
It's French.
Where did my
SPIN.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Kung Fu Fighting.
Carl Davis.
Oh,
Douglas.
good
right.
one.
Douglas. I think it's Douglas.
All right, guys. Come on Friday.
Good
and
night,
we will
everybody.
Have a good night.
Yeah, good night.
Take
Good
care.
night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night,
Bye.
John.
Good night, everybody.
I don't think
Bye.
Kung Fu
Night,
is Chinese.
everybody.
Here we go. Whoops.
Kung Fu is Korean.
That was abrupt.
It went away, but we didn't.
I know. I was hoping it was the other way around. I hate it when that happens.
Bye, guys.
Act
I hope
and
this
focus.
song doesn't have anything to do with Friday's movie, or maybe
I
don't
don't
know.
Okay.
She's trying
Goodbye.
Never heard of it. Goodbye.
It's a great movie. Goodbye,
Bye, everybody.
Okay, how do I get rid of